This stuff was pounding our truck. Now, imagine this stuff hitting your car. I'm at the corner of Westwood Way and Clayton State off of State Road 54, and you can see behind me, they have this thing shut down.
The Boston Bombers used bags to hide their bombs. They tell us she's 33 years old. She was shot and killed in this home you see right here with its black and silver Monte Carlo is sitting in the driveway. They don't want neighbors being confronted at their mailbox as they're trying to get their mail out. We learned some additional details since we first started reporting this. We learned that this accident actually started here. If you take a look at that silver car over there, we're told that an F-150 actually turned across Howard Road there and turned as that tractor trailer was coming down 365. The two collided. That collision led them to right here. Now, police tell me this all began with the suspect's rear-ending the victim. Police say when the victims got out of the car to check the damage to their vehicle, that's when the gunman put a gun to their head. We just got our hands on videotape from one of these carjackings, and it shows these men walking behind this sign, standing behind that tree, and when they saw their victim, the guy takes off running, runs right at the guy with the gun, puts it to him, and shakes him down. Then he jumps off into his car, and then he is gone. These guys, I'm told, came into this jewelry store, stood at one of these counters, and asked the guy could he see a diamond ring. When the owner gave him that diamond ring, that's when I'm told that one of those guys pushed that owner and ran out of these doors. Now, when he ran out of these doors, he thought he was. Our next half hour, guys, I'm actually going to get a chance to get on that set. I'm going to make my way in there. She promised me, and she told me because of the tie I have on, that I may be just the next Denzel. What you think there, Jocelyn? Think I got it?
Oh, I think Denzel should be very worried.
Lie to me, Jocelyn. Lie to me, baby. Lie to me. High gear, Jocelyn. What are you talking about? Au contraire, mon frère. It's going to be slow going on I-85. Details coming up in a live report. She says that I have to sing a little Johnny Cash for my audition. So here we go. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. Back to you, Trace. Let me just stop right now because I know I'm going to be an extra in your book always.
I was going to say, there's a reason I said an extra or maybe a walk-on part. We'll see how that goes.
Wow. We all can't be stars.
You're right about that. You know I'm just messing with you, Craig. All right. Well, we still have...
You take your worst gas station experience that you experienced somewhere on the road, multiply that by about 20, and that only skims the surface. The cab drivers tell me the building is substandard to say the least, and they say the shame of it is that this is all happening at the world's busiest airport.
This is look terrible, bro.
From the unsanitary restrooms with no running water.
Not even Fulton County jailhouse working like this one.
Dust-caked air vents.
You see how nasty dirt is?
Right down to the air conditioning unit not working during the dog days of summer.
So this is unacceptable.
These 300-plus cab drivers are forced to work in these conditions and are fed up.
We're asking the city to do something. This building is too old. We can't take it anymore.
Cab driver Shamark Jonas tells me the AC hasn't worked a single day this summer. In fact, he says the unit dies every year during this time. The conditions are so bad that just this past Saturday, Jonas says a fellow cab driver collapsed and was transported to the hospital suffering from heat exhaustion.
We are taxpayers. We are Georgia residential. We do the right thing. If it's hot here and the car is hot, so there's no way you can hide it. It's very terrible.
After months of suffering and silence, the cabbies finally called the city of Atlanta.
When we call the city, they're telling me they're going to contact the airport management. The airport manager said we're going to send somebody to fix it.
But so far, neither the air conditioning nor the unsanitary conditions have been addressed. So I called airport officials. Just wondering if we could talk to you guys about the conditions of that building. But my request for an interview, an on-camera interview, so that we can get a timetable as to when the problems will be fixed and what you plan to do to clean up the place in the meantime, were declined. In a statement, an airport spokesperson says the central air conditioning is working at the taxi assembly area located at the airport. The statement goes on to say the temperatures will rise inside the building during the summer due to the heat entering from the door being propped open.
They treat us different, and that's unacceptable. So somebody has to be stepping in and take care of this issue.
Now, I've been emailing back and forth with airport officials all day long, but again, they won't go on camera with us. Late this afternoon, the airport official sent me another statement saying that the restrooms are cleaned 3 times a day. When I relayed that statement to the cab drivers, they laughed. I'm still not sure at this point. I actually brought this ladder out. It's 12 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. The idea was to put it into this hole and climb out on live TV, but when we went to put it in the hole, guess what? It doesn't reach the bottom, and that is being stopped by the debris that's in this hole. One of the reasons why the man is so frustrated is because this sign was left here by GDOT. You see how flimsy it is? This is the only thing that was covering that hole, and he says this is a clear public safety hazard. The sign says this left lane is closed in 1,000 feet, but this 18-foot hole isn't. And after begging the Georgia Department of Transportation for a year to fill the man-made gouge, Roosevelt Robinson is frustrated.
Anyone's child can just come by and fall to their death.
Robinson tells me he has called and emailed GDOT repeatedly. In this exchange via email back on April 2nd, an engineer from the Georgia Department of Transportation says the hole will be fixed the following Monday. But it's now May, and we still have no fix.
Even if an adult accidentally fell in here and didn't hurt himself, he would not be able to get out of this until someone came along to help him out of here.
Robinson is also concerned because this is the path that hundreds of Braves fans take to the TED every single home game.
Thousands of people that's parking and walking through here going to the game.
With this monster grass, Robinson says it's hard to see the hole even with an orange cone on top. Another problem, the hole's covering is not adequate.
You notice how flimsy this is? It wouldn't hold a 50-pound child.
Now, this is a special project for Robinson because a few years back, he adopted this stretch of roadway.
I adopted this stretch of the road because I have a business here in the area, and I take pride in my community.
Now this businessman hopes GDOT takes the same pride in fixing the problem.
I hope the state would step up to the plate and come and take care of this problem before we have a serious accident, or even worse, someone lose their life.
Now here's another live look at that hole down there. You see all that debris inside there. I talked with GDOT late this afternoon. They tell me now that we have made them aware of this problem. In the next couple of days, they will come out and put something over here to make it safe until they can come up with a final fix. School officials here tell me that mass shooting forced them to revisit their security plans.
It's something that's always going on, that we take seriously, that we're constantly reviewing. But when you have an incident where people all of a sudden, front and center, begin to worry about the safety of their children, then they need to see it.
That's why Hall County Superintendent of Schools Will Schofield says his school district is placing such a heavy emphasis on school security. Schofield believes it's the new norm following the massacre in Newtown, Connecticut.
It is absolutely critical that we take a look at everything we do in terms of ensuring the safety of our boys and girls within the Hall County School District.
That said, Schofield told me that every school now has a safety coordinator, which is a person who's immersed in all things security at that given school. The superintendent also points out that all middle and high schools have resource officers.
As society evolves, the schools evolve educationally as well as safety-wise.
The focus on security places school resource officers like Deputy Seth Day on the front lines of the security fight.
As we have to look over safety plans, it's a fluid document, so we go over it several times a year.
Deputy Day embraces the new norm challenges and tells me it's critical to preventing acts of violence like we saw in Connecticut.
We do have to make sure that we do stay on top of the safety and the security of the school.
And school officials tell me that district-wide they will continue to review security plans to make sure that everyone understands that security is job one. At this point, the family is behind a legal 8-ball because, as you said, they took the money from these people and never showed up to court, so that has put them in a bind with the court system. And tonight they are concerned that this could have happened to other people. It's been a rough 8 months for Kerwin and Virginia Davis.
Very difficult. Because we feel betrayed.
The couple found themselves in a bind after dealing with the child support issue. That's when they tell me they met Arkeith Nelson, a man posing as an attorney, one who swore to the Davises he could resolve their problems and that he totally understood.
Because he said that the situation was so close to his heart because he had gone through the similar situation with child support.
We trusted him. He appeared like to be an attorney and an advocate for child support. Everything that he explained to us, he said he was one of the best. He was excellent at what he do.
The Davises say everything looked legit, from Nelson's knowledge of the law to his plush office on the 32nd floor of the 191 Peachtree building, which is right next door to the Ritz-Carlton.
The accusation is correct. Yeah, this is a pretty bold venture that this person was doing.
Lieutenant Jeff Canton says there are simple ways you can protect yourself.
The Georgia Bar Association for Georgia here has a great website. You can go online and you can type in the person's name or their bar number and then find out and verify who you're dealing with.
It's too late for the Davises to use that tool, and they are concerned that this may have happened to other people.
How many other men out there are going through the same thing, but they're incarcerated and can't get out? How many other men has he affected? How many lives has he affected?
Now, if you fear you have been a victim of this guy, you're asked to call Atlanta Police.